Mickey 17 is directed by Bong Joon Ho and stars Robert Pattinson, Naomi Ackie, Mark Ruffalo, and Toni Collette and Steven Yeun. It is based on a book by the same name, and the story is set in the distant future. And the film tells the story of Mickey, who signs up to be in a program to become an expendable, a disposable operative who gets replicated after he dies. I was excited to see Mickey 17 for two reasons. One, Bong Joon Ho, who directed my favorite movie of 2019, which was Parasite. I thought Parasite was absolutely fantastic. And two, Robert Pattinson. Robert Pattinson has become one of my favorite actors. I thought that he was fantastic in the Batman, and here he is absolutely the reason why you should see Mickey 17. Robert Pattinson is absolutely terrific here. I thought that he was by far the best part of the movie, and I enjoyed this film overall. Is it a perfect film? No. And it feels like this movie had a lot of issues during its production. You can kind of tell while you're watching the movie. The script isn't perfect, and I feel like some of the movie was sort of retooled. Maybe it just didn't feel all that cohesive, especially near the third act of the film, because the first two acts are pretty solid. It's just the last act, I think, where the film sort of falters. But just because of Robert Pattinson's incredible performance, I think that Mickey 17 is worth seeing. And I also love the accent that Robert Pattinson does here. He is just so incredible in this movie. He transforms completely into his character, and he is also very funny. He also gives a very funny performance. It's really nothing like what we're used to see him do. I feel like he has transformed completely for this role, and I really dug his work here. I thought that he was absolutely terrific as Mickey and as the multiple Mickeys. Mark Ruffalo seems like he's having so much fun here as the villain role. Is the villain here in this movie a bit of a caricature? Sure. I thought that he was done well, however. Mark Ruffalo, man, is just such a damn good actor. Now, the motivations for the characters, like for Mark Ruffalo's character and for Toni Collette's character, is ridiculous. Both of their characters are ridiculous. Like, this movie, I think, is really just a big giant comedy, and you sort of have to be on board with that to enjoy this film. And I thought that most of the comedy worked. There were some stuff that like really didn't work, but overall I laughed a lot in this movie. I thought that some of the humor was very funny, especially there's this scene that happens during a dinner party, and I laughed my ass off. It was really funny, and he's really terrific. Toni Collette is one of my favorite female actresses working in Hollywood today. I thought she was terrific in Mickey 17. All the performances, like Naomi Ackie, was also really great. She had terrific chemistry with Robert Pattinson. I thought that their relationship was really well done, and I loved her. I really enjoyed her performance. And Steven Yeun, who was really one of my favorite parts of The Walking Dead, is great here as well. We don't see a lot of Steven Yeun in this movie, but the times that we do see him, I think he is really great in this film. The acting here is really terrific. There is not one weak like acting performance here, and I think that's due to Bong Joon Ho's amazing like direction. He knows how to direct actors. He's just a terrific director. I didn't think that Mickey 17 was like his best directing effort, but I thought that he really directed his actors well here. I also enjoyed the world building of Mickey 17 a lot. I thought that this world was fascinating, and while there is a little bit too much exposition, you can hear like the thoughts of Mickey 17 like throughout this movie, and it feels a little bit heavy-handed. Like, you can tell that this movie didn't really trust its audience to keep up with the film a little bit, and I was disappointed with that. But overall, I was okay with the narration. There's a lot of funny jokes that they do with the narration. I thought that it worked most of the time. It worked more than it didn't. It was just like a really hard gamble, I'd say, and it mostly paid off. As for flaws, the pacing of this movie is kind of off. It feels slow at certain points. The third act is probably the worst part of the film. It just doesn't feel all that exciting, and it really drags on for like 20 minutes after like the whole situation is over. There's this weird extra scene that doesn't need to be there in the third act as well. I just felt like this movie should have wrapped up a lot earlier than it did. I think that if it would have been like 2 hours tops, it would have been just perfect. I think the runtime here is a little rough, and the editing and the execution of the story leaves a little to be desired. Like, I still don't really know what was the point of this movie, even though I had fun with Mickey 17. I didn't really know like what was the message of the movie. I am sort of a little bit baffled by what I've just seen, but I also enjoy the fact that it's a unique movie. It's an original experience. There isn't really a movie quite like this that you've ever seen, in my opinion, and I think that it's just an original film that you should support. I think that you should go out and see this movie and judge it for yourself, because I had fun. I had fun with this movie. I had a good time, even though it has some issues. It's not perfect, but I recommend seeing Mickey 17. I thought it was an enjoyable film. So those are my thoughts on the movie. I'd give it like a B. I think that a solid B is a good grade, and I would, like I said, recommend it. Let me know what you think about the movie down in the comments below. Please like, comment, subscribe, and see you next time.